Alright, looks like my audio's good. Make sure it's all working right. Boom. I probably don't really need to post the Twitch because that stays the same, but I like to anyway. Let's see. It would be easier if I had any idea of what I wanted to build specifically, but I'm fine with just winging it. Modify the taunt. Just make it a little more, a little better. Uh, I like the submachine gun, but the submachine gun isn't great. It wouldn't hurt me to throw on some actual steering besides just the gyro hidden within. Spin that. Boom. Boom. Immediately way more maneuverable. How many tires can I throw on before it actually just hinders me? And that definitely worsens the steering, but I don't know how to fix that. Select both of these. Boom. There we go. Shouldn't have unselected them. So I do this, and then that. No, that actually just broke it. What if I do not what I meant to do? Do 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 do. What do you mean? The camo texture I'm using? I like the ability to make it crab walk. It's not functional. And I could change the texture. Darn it, I don't have texture pack 3. But now I want the stuff in texture pack 3 because it's pretty. Oh, I actually hate that. That looks awful. I don't hate that. I'm not playing Clash Royale. I finally got myself free of it. I have released my... I released myself of the gambling game. What if I do this? Yeah, that works. There we go, look at this steering now. Nice and responsive. Actually, a little too responsive. I like this vehicle. It looks nice, and it functions nice. What I will do, though, is take those four. That looks like a windshield, right? It doesn't not look like a windshield. Now it's got a problem of flipping, so what can I do about that? Actually, not sure what I can do about that. I guess what I could do is throw on suspension like a normal freaking person. Like the suspension spring more. Boom. Boom. I mean, wider wheelbase means it's less likely to flip, but I feel like the normal suspension might have looked better, just because it keeps it a little lower profile. Or what? It looks weird how wide it is now, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And do the braces still work? Or... And yeah, it still raises it off the ground. Not sure I'm a fan of the submachine gun on there. Anyways, 4.4. Choices are hard. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm a fan of the landmine. I don't think I have anything on space. Oh, that was not an issue I anticipated. Although it is one I probably should have anticipated. Eh, not a big fan of that. What if I spin these around? Oh, that would be why I can't do that. What if I do that? There we go. And to attach... It doesn't line up. It only has one attachment point. Oh, everything I do feels wrong. Okay, but I'm not foolish enough to think that's not too long. I mean, this doesn't feel wrong, but it probably is wrong. Okay, yeah, it can't look down. Uh, that just kinda nullifies A what? Okay, what if I do the 2x2, but I put it in a different way? I don't hate that. That doesn't function. One 120. No. 20, 20. I'm very confused at why this now doesn't want to work. Why does it work when it's rotated this way, but not when it's rotated the other way? I mean, it is 100% the classic thing of Trailmakers is doing weird shit again, and I don't know why. Still works fine. Still works fine. Now the question becomes, do I add a shroud over the suspension? Probably. Oh, there's a problem. I can only Okay, medium fender then. That has the problem of now it looks weird. Especially while in motion, so I don't like that. Now, how do I go about covering up the suspension's exposed bits without messing up the aesthetics of this? And of course, the easy answer is just don't on that. But I don't like that answer. Hold on, I am cooking right now. I have a plan. I mean, it's effective, but it's also ugly. And it also leaves like the entire front and back of the suspension exposed. Hold on. Once again, I am going to attempt to cook here. This, well, that doesn't, that specifically doesn't work aesthetically, but alright, alright. No, this doesn't line up. Cook with this. I can cook! I mean, like, an important question is, will I manage to? And that I can't quite answer with any amount of certainty, but I do have the potential. Yeah? Maybe? I feel like that works pretty well. You know what? I think I actually like that. Alright. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, that is hella too long. Yeah, because it's the 2x2x2, so I need the 2x2x2. Alright, chat, with this design, am I cooking or am I cooked? I will admit it is looking a little chunky, but that kind of works for me. Like, it is identifiably a tank. Oops, wrong thing. Hmm. Hello, Vaderbug, how's it going? I'm doing pretty alright. Nah, that windshield's a little too wide. It merges into it, and it needs that little bit of space. Why do I struggle so much to learn these? Okay, what's a good... That's a good transition block here. Probably a 2x2. And then inverted corner. Then will this fit there? It might fit there. It does fit there. Let's go. Boom, boom, boom. Nice. Yeah, I've been alright. What brings you around? It's in there. Yeah, I can squeeze in another 2x2. This thing went from nice and low profile to now it's just a big, chunky UFO looking thing. Like, I feel like I may as well just have some pontoons in the bottom of it. Because it's near enough boat-shaped. Ah, crap, that's not even a bad idea. Didn't figure that that would be enough. There was no way. Because this thing weighs over a metric ton, and it has, I want to say either 2 or 4 of the raw engines. Okay, aiming servos are 0. Flat cannon is 4, and we're at 13 because of a, so 4. 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, so 4 raw engines. Yeah, it's a little heavy. A little bit. A little thick to get around in water. With only 6 dinghy blocks. I do like that the dinghy blocks are very, very out of the way aesthetically. Ah, crap. This is Trailmakers. It's a vaguely Lego-feeling game where you get to build all kinds of vehicles. Uses a different... Has a pretty good damage engine. So if you run into stuff fast enough, it'll break your vehicles and all that. Different weapons have different damage values, as you'd expect. You can make stuff like cars, or in this case, a big, overly bloated tank. Oh, I wanted to save it as Tonk 2. Tonk 2. Yeah, if you don't want something big and bulky like that, there's also stuff like this, which doesn't handle at all well on sand. Yeah, it's really fun. I like it. And just like any other Formula One car, this thing goes flying if you hit anything. And planes, which the only one I have on hand that isn't horrendously impractical is my tiny plane. If I remember right, Trailmakers should be on basically every console as well. I play it on PC through Steam, but whatever you want to use probably has it. Technically, you can even build helicopters. I just suck at building helicopters. Like a glove. I also have a submarine. I just don't have it in my little buildy hotbar for no clear reason. Submarine. Which recently they also added weapons specifically for underwater. So, say you strap a minigun onto something designed for underwater, it cannot fire under the water. But if you breach above the surface, you can fire it. Versus, say, they have water weapons like depth charges, sea mines, air-to-surface torpedoes, which I think can also be fired underwater. Yes, they can. Hello, Yuki. How's it going? Underwater torpedo? Is there any practical difference between the air-to-surface torpedo and the underwater torpedo besides only being able to... Can you only fire the underwater torpedo underwater? Yes, that is the difference. That and the power core is the difference. Oh yeah, there's also aerodynamics in this game. So how's it going, Yuki? Before I continue to drag on and at the risk of making you feel ignored. What if I move these back some and I move this over here? Let's go 120 on this, 20 on that. So it's back to default. Copy another one over here. And I should have the ability to strap 2 aimable torpedoes onto here. Yes. Yes. I don't know why it's... Why is it pulling to the right? I see why it's pulling to the right. There, now it's straight. Okay. Underwater torpedoes detonate immediately on touching the surface. I think air-to-surface... Yeah, because air-to-surface torpedoes are made specifically to go along the surface of the water. The underwater torpedoes are made specifically to stay under the water. And you can only have 10 torpedoes active at a time. I'm just going to save this as is because I like it more. Alright, let's take off most of the guns on this plane so that I can more practically use it as a plane. And now it is very, very light in the front. Not sure if that made my problem worse, but it definitely didn't make it better. Do I not have any gyros controlling this? This might have been one of my old designs before I started using the gyros like a reasonable individual. And if I throw some torpedoes on the front, will that balance it out? Slightly, but it is touchy. Why is this so touchy? Besides the fact that it is aerodynamic mess. And I don't happen to have a boat on hand. I could probably build a boat pretty quick. He says, knowing he cannot, in fact, build a boat worth a darn at all. Yeah, if there's one thing I'm not good at, it's building boats. There's definitely more than one thing I'm not good at, but that's the primary one. I love struggling. That looks about right. So if I do this, that's connected now. That's connected now. I forgot there's no attachment points on the bottom of this, despite the fact it looks like there should be. So what I could do is screw up the aesthetics for the purpose of being more functional, somewhat functional. I want to connect. I am either really dumb or very confused. Which those two things, not mutually exclusive. Like, maybe this is a hot take, but I feel like after rotating it that many times, it should have connected to something. Anyways, torpedoes are pretty neat. But you can only have 10 torpedoes at a time. What happens if I do try and fire more than 10 at the same time, though? Okay, it just only shoots 10 of them. Question was answered. I hate boats. I could get good at building boats, but then I don't get to complain about hating boats. Like, the obvious answer or solution to just hating using or building boats is to get better at building boats. But boats confuse me. I don't like them. I wanna be good at boat, but I don't understand how. Which is 100% a personal failing, but yeah, it just is a personal failing on my end. Oh wait, I need a bow. Can I use like one out? Yeah, I can, but it doesn't look right if I do. Unless... I think the funniest option is to just, like, take that little space there and slap a cannon in it. Marine. Throw in a propeller. Give me my probably absolute garbage boat. It doesn't immediately flip, and that's the impressive part. I actually might have a solution for it flipping. Okay, I have a solution, it's just not... It feels cheaty to throw in the gyros. Maybe I'm just not built for boats. mean, it's working fine now. And it kind of turns. And I know the problem is my boat's too short for all the power it has. But I don't like that answer. This should actually work pretty well, and it does. Actually works really well. Like I said, I'm perfectly capable of making a functional boat. I'm just not very good at it. And I have to use the simple but doesn't feel legit method of gyro stabilizers. If this had one more connection point, I could throw in a rudder. Because I like rudders for the purpose of making normal, quote unquote, normal boats. Or, as an alternative, I could make use of a rudder, or two rudders, because why the hell not? Green, large paddle, rotate that, slap it to there. Rotate that twice so that it turns me the way I want. There we go. Movement. This isn't a bad solution. In fact, it's a really effective solution. It's also kind of a boring solution. Like, I don't even need the gyro stabilizers now. This will just work. since now the center of thrust is roughly equal positioning wise to the center of mass. If I throw on this seat, aka the steering wheel, like, hey Zerum, how's it going? I can just do this and it'll just work. I do indeed. There are many things I am. Forgetful is not one of them. Except for the times when it is, but this isn't one of them. Turn, 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 turn. This is surprisingly effective. What if I do this number? Okay, so it turns out with the underwater torpedoes, if they think they're underwater, they have no gravity. To the torpedo does fit there. The underwater torpedoes are really weird. Really weird. Large cannon, maybe? Okay, the back row is an issue. We'll never get over the fact that I can fire through solid objects with the rocket launchers. Well, the air to service torpedoes. Or if they work like the bomb bays do, or if they, nope, they work more like the rockets. Let's go. So can I have a second row of them? Or will that blow them up? That will, in fact, blow them up. Learning experience. So technically, this shouldn't not work. It very much does work. Let's go. There are settings I can use Or these? Oh, trigger rates. Yeah. And then sometimes it just hits itself anyways. Lovely. It's still really weird how rockets just kind of do like that. Definitely not a complaint, but it's weird. I want to make a pirate ship now. This idea has convinced me. Middle hole. Check. Straight hole. Check. Corner. Corner. Boom. And boom. Throw on a bow. Some keels. And then the most important tool in any pirate's arsenal. Broadside torpedoes. Broadside torpedoes, test one, inconclusive. Why is they like that? So what brings you back around, Serum? Is there an option for me to turn on wind? No, there's not. Unfortunate. I think I know what kind of propulsion I want to try. What if I take... Okay, where is it at? I know. There it is. And then take a large paddle. Okay, that's the one that goes backwards. While it is funny, it's not very efficient. Do, 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 do. Yeah, that doesn't really work. By the way, Zarum, if you want to rejoin the Discord, you can. Just don't be a dick. That was the primary issue. Who the hell all is watching? So I see where it says 4 viewers, but like it doesn't tell me much beyond that.
Working on the what's
Also, hello, Vite. I'm assuming you probably played prior to the newest patch. These are air-to-surface torpedoes. Oh, now let me turn on the waves. Also, forgive me for being absolute garbage at building boats. So you can only have 10 of these active. Well, 10 torpedoes at a time. Fair enough. So I have, I think, every DLC saved for the newest texture pack. Also, you don't have to look at that atrocity anymore. I'll pull out the sub. So the air-to-surface torpedoes you can fire up out of the air, and they'll just bounce along the surface, hence air-to-surface, and if you fire them from below the surface, they'll go up to the surface. Except for when they don't, just to prove me wrong. But yeah, if they hit the surface, they'll just stick up at the surface, which is pretty neat. Really handy for when you're trying to do just raw boat battles, but without cannons and machine guns and all that. Versus, where's that? The underwater torpedo, which, you know, is a torpedo that you can only use underwater. So if I can somehow manage... Yeah, so if I hold the fire button like I'm doing now, it won't fire. But the instant I touch water, it'll fire. And they blow up on contact with the surface. So they will have zero drop underwater as far as I can tell. And fairly limited range. Might be able to change that. Can't change that. Alright. Figured I'd check. Along with mini torpedo, which, considering these are aiming servos, yeah, they're pretty neat. Kinda. They just weren't providing propulsion in any way that I took value from. Of course, both of these are activated by the same button. So there's also sea mines and depth charges. Sea mines, you can probably take an educated guess at what they do, and depth charges, they explode at a certain depth. Looks like depth charges are single... They're not single use, they just didn't want to work. Yeah, it seems like everything in the new DLC, all, well, as far as the water stuff, generally AoE triggered. I'm doing myself that unsafe structure thing. I'm gonna do myself the favor of making an actual decent plane that's not tiny plane. Immediately after I see if tiny plane can handle an air-to-surface torpedo. So I mean, look at him. He's tiny plane. I don't think tiny plane is going to actually fly. You know what? Never mind. Tiny plane is God's favorite creation. I don't question how that works when I'm the one that created him. I don't try to think too deeply upon what I say. Tiny plane. Ah, I love this thing. It flies no matter what I strap to it, and it probably has no right to do so. And I don't fly well with those on it, but it does still fly. I really didn't think it would. I don't know why I would think. I don't know why I doubted tiny plane. It never let anything stop it before. Okay, that is weird. Yeah, that's fine. I can give tiny plane an absolute dump truck with the sea mines. I understand that this only works because Trailmaker physics, but it's really funny that it still flies like this. So yeah, good example of you can use a plane to set down sea mines for stuff like air versus sea battles. And same with depth charges, of course. You know, air to surface torpedo, sea mines, and depth charges. Even with tiny plane, because tiny plane doesn't care. It does what it wants. It'll probably still fly like this. If I even out the weight a little. So let's say I put 0.5 delay, 0.5 delay, 0.5 delay. Well, now I'm gonna have to try that, because that sounds really fun. Oh no, I didn't put those equidistant. Tiny plane, you can do it. We believe in you. I'm gonna fix that because it bothers the heck out of me. Go, tiny plane. Anyways, decent little exhibition of how that do. And great, thanks. Now I have to try out the sea mines on a catapult. I'm gonna go to test map for that because that I want to see how much distance I can get off of it. I wonder if I can get more distance off of sea mines or the depth charges. Ship's wheel, boom, boom. Four by eight. I need an anchor pin. Just because it's going to simplify the hell out of this. Rotating servo isn't fast. It's not in gadgets. I could probably just use a helicopter engine. Structure. Let's see, what's something really long? Mast? Actually, mast is... Huh. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, mast is the same length as a long truss block. And it makes sense. $12 kilograms. So now I need a counterweight. Structure, I think this is 30. Yeah. What's the heaviest thing that doesn't take up a ton of space? That's 10. That is also 10. And 2.5. No, 2. 2 kilograms. Where's something that weighs exactly 2? I would also take something that weighs 1. Technically, it doesn't have to be the exact same weight, but I want it to be the exact same weight. There's something that weighs 1. Okay, problem detected. Eh? Why does it move out so far? You know what? Don't care. Long. I figured out why it was moving out so far. Good. Oh, that flies. Ha ha. Unless you mistime it. I like that. I like that a lot. Or I could actually make a catapult, like you suggested. Let's see. I know it's not the rotating servo I'm after. I can't remember the name of the other one, though. Uh, servo. No, it is the rotating servo. I got it confused with the spinning servo. That's right, they don't connect to the side. Perfect. See, that's the best part about streaming this game. It would have taken me at least a while before I thought about building a catapult, if I thought about it at all. Speed, max, angle, 90? Like, I either wouldn't have thought about it, or it would have taken me significantly longer. I like that idea. Holy hell, this works way better than the previous version. If I can time it right, that is. Oh, you get the good timing on it, and it freaking flees it. Alright, I like this. And I just remembered you can have like 10 mines at a time. Four, six, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh wait, you only have 6 up? Yeah, you can only have 6 up. That's a shame. Oh, that split is diabolical. That was not good timing. So isn't it rotating the servos that you can stack for even more speed? I remember that being a thing. Or at least I remember thinking that that was a thing and never being told otherwise. No, it definitely stacks more rotation though. Although you talking about a combine harvester does make me wonder why there's no melee weapon in this game yet. What if I do this with depth charges? Because the depth charges look a little more like... Oh. So if I set the fire button on this to D... Nope, that don't work. Bad idea. I forgot that the depth charge fires on... Yeah. It just doesn't feel the same as, like, a dedicated melee option, you know? Okay, and you can just straight up throw the depth charges without needing a catapult. I remember, like, way back in the day, I had a full-on melee robot. But that's been quite a while. Also, they changed the game so that this thing no longer works every single time. Sometimes it just has a crash out moment and blows itself up. I'm still not entirely sure why I wound up making this. I can definitely say it works. I don't even remember. I think I wound up building this thing in space and then was like, I wonder if it works in air. Yeah, it doesn't care what it's flying through. It just goes. So, fun fact, there's There's no engines on this. I mean, technically, I can use this as a boat. I just can't go underwater. Downside is that it's a 50-50 on whether or not it just blows up. And now I want it to blow up, it just won't. Like, look at this. I can go from a straight downward, straight vertical. It's the closest I've gotten to a successful helicopter, and a helicopter, it's not. It makes a decent Beyblade. And then I've got the Chonk Tonk. It's just a chunky tank. I like my chunky little tank. It brings me joy. He's just a little feller, wide as can be. I'm gonna give it a couple of Dragon engines. It has way too slow of a takeoff. Oh yeah, Dragon engines are 2x2, not 2x3. Or maybe this will speed up the chunky tank. It's so much faster now. Sometimes, so do I. But then I look at my fat son here. Oh, that is truly the worst. Now I kind of want to try something like that. It's an interesting concept. Oof. Oh, that's such a big oof. Although your idea did give me inspiration, so I'm 100% going to try and steal that idea before you can rebuild it. Now I'm wondering if you were doing vertical or horizontal for the spinner, because I see advantages to both. Figure. Let's see. Slightly less terrible land time. I'm going to alternate these back and forth so that it doesn't just flip me. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. I laid the hell out of Wreckfest. In fact, I haven't wound up rebuying the first one, but I did buy Wreckfest 2 in anticipation of it being as good as the first one. This thing already terrifies me. I can't wait to see what happens when I finalize it. Ah, I know what you're talking about. Yep. I was particularly fond of the school bus. I wound up having everything by the time that I got. Oh no, oopsie daisy. By the time I got tired of it, and frankly, some of the challenges for the reward cars were a little much. You know, I have a feeling that this might just be a pretty effective weapon. Just a hunch. And the steering works backwards. That's interesting. I might have a solution for that. Nope, steering still works backwards. Oh, that's what I'm doing. In fact, I just realized it's not my steering that's backwards, it's my steering hinges. Okay, it kind of just tickles stuff. I'm so disappointed in that. Wait a minute. Didn't have the speed maxed. I mean, if nothing else, it's intimidating. But you don't win the smackathon by being scary. Maybe if I have the numbers of these, it'll work. Nope, that didn't work at all. To be fair, at first, those wheels were my turning wheels. Come on, do damage. Darn it. I mean, I can make it do damage. It's just going to be abusing game logic. Which, I mean, a dub is a dub, as they say. Told you I'd get it to work. Depending on your definition of working. Remember, a suspension is the most dangerous thing you can have in your car. That's why I always remove it. I might have to move these further back just so that it pivots up a little higher. See, when everything starts binding up, that's when it gets really to the point you should be scared. Okay, maybe doubling up on the suspension actually made it less dangerous. Like, even visually, this is kind of intimidating to look at. That's because it just all moves weird. And it grabs onto stuff like a hand. Not not quite sure what happened there. Also not going to question. Okay, that reduced it to atoms. Never change, Trailmakers. Genuinely don't even know how that happened. Pretty sure I shouldn't question it, though. Yeah, I'm just gonna blame it on Trailmakers being Trailmakers, though. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is how it worked. But there's just always something really funny when it happens. How many times am I gonna have to move this out for increase in leverage? Or, well, increase in height. And I'm sure the race car will be fine. And definitely won't be subjected to any amount of war crimes. No, it's kind of just getting tickled. It's taking impact damage, but that's about it so far. I can improve on this design. I don't know if this is gonna work, but I'm gonna try it. Also going to do that, so I can move that there. And throw on the one thing that might be more ball. Yeah, nah, I like the aesthetics of the suspension. I'll try the straight suspension. Maybe somehow it'll make an even worse nightmare thing. Okay, I see the problem. Okay, I see the next problem. Main problem is, this thing is thicker than a Snicker, so it don't like to be lifted. Oh, needs more weight. More weight. It it kind of works when I move. A little further back. That should work. It technically works. Kinda. There we go, that's what I'm talking about. And immediately I need to rethink this design. Never mind, I fixed the design. It's like a spoiler. Technically, it also provides downforce like a spoiler would. Okay, it's time for a steering gyro. Through the power of prayer, this will get there. Sometimes it just makes stuff blow up, and I don't really know why. You know, maybe some things just aren't for me to do. For plan number, I lost count, but that's not going to make me give up. Now it's either going to flip uncontrollably or work like a dream. And frankly, I'm willing to accept either result. It was option 1. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Nope, that is literally the opposite of what I wanted. Now this will solve all my problems. There we go. Well, it knocked it away, so that's a good sign. Maybe. It's not working. Okay, maybe a super low to the ground vehicle isn't the optimal choice for this. Tonk 2. It's your time to shine. Tonk 2 is too fat. I mean, it's working. It's absolutely working. It might win at a Robot Wars match. If it weren't for all of the power cores you need. I don't think the harvester idea is working out for me. I like the concept. However, it is a touch finicky. Why does so much of what I build like to just blow itself up? Alrighty. Let's see if the harvester can do something this time. Not really, it would seem. The combine harvester is not the optimal combat weapon, it would seem. It is funny, though. Can't help but feel like the rotating servo is faster than the spinning servo, regardless of what it says. Or at least it seems to be on par. I think I still remember how to make a big-ass robot, but let's see. If I can do it with minimal amount of steer or power cores, that would also be nice. So I do recall making one with no, because it was prior to the servo update. I just wish I was smarter. So it would make my life so much easier when I'm trying to do stupid stuff like this. Got the start of a walker going. Oh yeah, now we're getting somewhere. He walks a few steps at a time. But he walks. Look at my boy, my sweet baby boy. He's coming so far already. He walks really weird, but he's just a little special. Heck yeah. Oh my god. Why is this? Why is my boy built like this? This boy built stupid. I know the issue. It's that I didn't build the like I'd say wheelbase, but these are legs. I didn't build them wide enough. My boy. He walks. He falls over really good. It's the only thing he's good at. Okay, he keeps falling over sideways. I think I have a solution for that. My boy. No. You know what? They gave me... I've been given gyro stabilizers. I should use gyro stabilizers. Why is my son so terrible at walking? Walk, my child, walk. It's fine if you walk backwards, just don't fall over. Oh. My son, my poor stupid son. I just realized I've remade QWOP with this. This is just QWOP in Trailmakers. Yeah, you know what they say. Gyro stabilizers make me the mech creator I'm not. Hold on, I might be able to. Closest he's gotten to walking yet. He kind of walks. I've seen worse out of small children. That means we're making progress. Just walking. He walks. He's walking better than he has so far, anyways. He kind of skips along. I like it. Let's go. You wind up remaking the harvester. Nice. My son is finally walking at like kindergartner levels. Look at him. My boy. He will be the basis for all of my all of my mechs as soon as he's at a point where he functions worth half a damn. He does have a self-righting feature. Look at him go! He's walking! He's not even falling on his face immediately, like he has been, historically speaking. At a brisk, like, maximum of 15 miles an hour. Oh my god, it's actually working somewhat decently now. Nope, and then he started turning. Which, now I realize, how am I going to make him turn? Didn't expect to get this far, so I kind of didn't plan for this. Toggle, toggle. No, don't fall over. No. Look on the right side. You don't have to try and troubleshoot something like this. Okay, that actually worked perfectly. Go, my son. He can walk like a real boy. I wonder if this could kill a Botnik. Do I win if it can, but it's slower, or if this just outright can't? My bot here means business. Let's see here. I'm gonna try and kill a Botnik with my son. My poor, poor idiot son. If I even have the parts unlocked for him, I guess. Oh, I don't have all the stuff for him. This is so sad. I know there's... You know, you'd think I thought about that, but yeah, I didn't. I'm... I should have. Entirely just did not think about that. It's time for my son. Go, my son. You've never tasted uneven terrain in your life. Oh, no, he's... He is not what you would call good at existing. He's cruising along at a humble... I think we capped out at 10 miles an hour. I genuinely don't want to use this. I'll use Tonk 2. Because at least Tonk 2 works. I'm sure that this abomination will have no issues killing a... Okay, it hit it for half its health in one. Go, my boy! Kill! Kill! Slap it! Slap it to death! He can do it! He does damage! That's it, my boy. Prove that you're the superior robot. He just needs literally every physical advantage he can get. Especially considering this thing was at half health when I started attacking it. He technically killed it. Very technically. Alright, let's see if my harvester combine can kill anything. Maybe if it could go in a straight line. I don't actually think this can kill it. Nope, it doesn't do damage. That is, unfortunate. Tell you what does do damage, Big Rocket. One of the umpteen creations I've given a really stupid name. Much like too many guns. Which I think is just going to instantly murder... Yeah, it does instantly murder anything that happens to come within range. Good job, Botniks. Just spawn directly in front of something with... I don't know how many power cores is on this. Too many. Sometimes I forget the stupid stuff I build when I'm not doing anything of importance. This is definitely on the list. I don't think there's any way this could not be on the list. There's no explosives, and it just shredded one of the big shields. Come, Botniks, come face death. I love making overkill things. Actually, this seems like a solution for problem for this flavor of solution. This thing has no grip up here. Okay, tiny plane, don't fail me now. Oh, tiny plane hasn't failed me yet. Ugh. I don't know what I was doing. I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream though, because I'm getting a little tired. And I've also been streaming for like 3.5 hours. So yeah, thanks for tuning in.